It's a wave that missed a quickie, oh yeah. Last month, in the midst of worldwide protests over the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and every other unarmed black person in America murdered at the hands of a racist cop abusing his or her power, President Trump thought it would be a good look for him to walk over to a church and, as awkwardly as anyone has ever done it, hold up a Bible. There may be no one on the planet who knows less about, ignores the teachings of, or more incompetently holds his or her Judeo-Christian holy book. He looked like a 14-year-old boy trying to find the clitoris. You can see it in his eyes. What the hell am I supposed to do with this thing? To anyone who's studied Trump even a bit, you can clearly see his attempt at dog whistling, which is about sending a message only the few or initiated can hear and understand. Look at that hand for just a second, and imagine that Bible gone. Now, tell me that's not the casual Sieg Heil salute German officers gave their underlings during World War II or on Hogan's Heroes. Right? Very casual, very friendly. I think his hand just reflexively goes into that position anytime he feels uncomfortable, or when he's around Stephen Miller. Of course, I kid our president slightly. As one of those 2 Corinthians once said, or was it might have been one of the 2 Thessalonians, or 2 Peters, or perhaps one of the 3 Johns. But someone in that good free book once said, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." Which ironically doesn't apply to the person who said that, because he's supposedly going to judge the f*** out of everyone at some point. But I digress. You know, a lot of people think that Trump is a moron. I don't. I think he's more of an Idiot-Savant, because there are certain areas where he's like Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man, an absolute genius. And one of those areas is knowing who the truly gullible are. When Trump went to that church and held up that Bible, he was indicating to all of us that there are no more gullible people in this country than the religious, who now worship at his solid gold altar. This man held up the holy book of Jews and Christians in this country, having never read it, having completely ignored it, having no regard for it whatsoever, using it only as a prop, as though the mere act of holding it meant something. And you, my religious friends, well, you bought it. Sadly, I know gullible. Having been a member of the truly silliest religion on the planet, with perhaps the exception of Scientology, I know credulity about as well as anyone. I wasn't stupid, though. I was deceived from birth, so having been there and done that, I have never genuinely believed that you, my religious friends, were any less intelligent than any other American. This event, though, has me reconsidering. I'm genuinely horrified by this thought, but maybe, just maybe, Trump has finally gotten something right. Nothing's as important as enlightening, humorous content. And with once-weekly Patreon-supported Wellbritron XL, you'll get that and so much more. And I think it's nice that there's a low risk of sexual side effects. Wellbritron XL effectively delivers enlightening, humorous content with a low risk of sexual side effects. You'll feel great laughing again, all while life-enriching insights come at you left and right. Well, maybe just from the left. Wellbritron XL is not for everyone. There's a risk of seizure-like laughter when taking Wellbritron. This risk can increase if you've recently left your religion or consumed large amounts of marijuana. Don't use if you've recently stopped thinking clearly or are offended by religious or political satire. Be careful when mixing Wellbritron with libertarianism, magical thinking, or regular doses of PragerU, which can increase blood pressure, sometimes severely. To reduce the risk of serious side effects, tell your cognitive advisor of any deficiencies in cognitive function or sense of humor. If religious, contact a secular advisor if you begin to have thoughts of apostasy, dancing, or sexual liberation. Don't stop taking Wellbritron abruptly, as that may lead to extreme mood swings and frequent urination. Once weekly Patreon-supported Wellbritron. Humorous, enlightening content with a low risk of sexual side effects. Go to patreon.com/Mr. Deity to find out about once weekly Wellbritron XL. You'll laugh. You'll think. You'll feel better. And so will I.